Hey, my love. Welcome to what I consider the worst nightmare of my life. So, this video totally shaped my mind and my view of life. So, as you all know from the title of the video, I was jailed. But the reason I was jailed is because I was in Cyprus for 4 years and I wanted to see my family. So, I went back home to check on my family. This is me coming back from Cameroon. There's a video I posted of me surprising my family. I'm just going to put the link there. This is me coming back from Cameroon and my experience, and I'm going to give my own little advice to help someone who might be in this same situation. So I was so excited coming back home. I had to film my journey back from Cameroon, the meals I had on the plane, the movies I played. Like a normal experience, I was excited, but I had no idea this was not going to last. It was going to become a living nightmare. So I lived in Cyprus and I was a student. So for a year, I didn't actually get my permit done. And in my head, I thought paying for the school fees and starting the process of getting my permit done was okay for me to travel. So when I come back, I'll continue that. But guess what? That was not the case. That was the biggest thing I could ever have done in my entire life, traveling back home without getting my permit done. So, from the airport in Douala, I realized there was going to be a problem because I had so many errors. I could not give my permit, but I didn't know it was going to be so serious. I didn't know it was going to be that bad. So here am I in Egypt preparing for my flight. We're supposed to take off for Turkey, Istanbul, and I was still hoping that there'll be no issue once I get there because the people at the airport gave me a hint that there was going to be a problem. But I was still hoping that it wouldn't be that bad since I printed out payment receipt from my school and I printed out my Mujera porta. So I thought it was going to be okay. Arriving in Turkey, everything was normal. Everything seems okay. I just decided to take a walk around and just do eye shopping. So it came to the point where we boarded and we were heading for Ajan Airport, and I was still hoping for the best. So arriving at the airport, I faced what I consider a nightmare because I'd never had any encounter with the police before in my life. This was my first encounter. So we got to the airport and I was asked by the airport security officer to show my permit, and I just told them I didn't have permit. I tried to take out the receipts I had and he told me, oh, wait by the side. As foolish as I was, I thought that was okay. I thought it's a normal thing for people to be asked to wait by their side. But guess what? Yes, you guessed right. I was sent to jail, guys. I was sent to prison, an airport prison, where the security is tight. We are not permitted to hold our phones, and it was. Where am I in jail? Like, this is my first day. I arrived there, I had cried my eyes out, and I was told I was going to be deported. There's no way I can get into the country. I don't have a permit. This is how the prison looked, by the way. We were just two, a woman and her kids, and myself. This is the bed. It was so uncomfortable. Roaches were everywhere. The smell, like I was so uncomfortable. and I tried to beg. I cried, I kneeled, I begged them. I was so terrified. I told them I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to be a good student, and nothing helped. So that is the meal we're being given every day. We're given white rice, like plain white rice, just with black pepper and shreds of chicken. So here is how the bathroom looked. The bathroom was not very clean, and this is me, the breaking money to my arrest. I tried to lighten up the mood for myself. I had no idea it was going to get worse as the day passed by. So I mentioned my situation to my friends. I mentioned my situation to everyone that I thought could help me except my family. So I had to make myself comfortable. I had to clean up. I had to shower, although it was not so comfortable, but beauty before everything. I needed to look pretty while in prison. So here is the breakfast we're given. We're given bread, and I don't really like bread. We're given bread, and every day was the same routine. So this is me the next day. After begging for so long, one good Samaritan decided to help me, and he gave me till Monday before my school rectified my situation and they can permit me to get in. After so many calls to the school, to my friends, and meeting all the requirements, I was still sent back to Turkey because my school was not very effective with the deadline. I was bawling my eyes here. It was so cold, and I remember telling my sister I'm going to die. I cannot cope with the cold, and everything was a torment for me. Yeah, I finally mentioned to a sister I trust and not the entire family. So they were still clueless at this point. So I finally got tired, and I thought of a plan on my own to get my passport back. So here will be my first advice. Once you're being sent to Turkey, you're stripped of everything, your passport, you can't do anything, you cannot buy water, you cannot be allowed to the airport. So I had to think of a way to outsmart them. I asked so many questions. I told them if I'm able to rectify my situation, are you going to give my passport? Will you send me back? And the airline said, we cannot hold your passport here. We are going to send you back. After a day of sleeping there, I waited till the school rectified my situation and I got my passport back. Now, mind you, this is supposed to be a fun experience, a fun journey. I decided to go window shopping. I decided to enjoy the freedom because while you're downstairs out of the airport, you cannot have access to all these things. I was just so excited, and I had to get myself few things. I had to eat, I had to drink water, and I was freezing, so I decided to buy something, and it was so costly. It was so costly for this little trover. So I was still happy to be there. This is where the problem lies. The school sent me a message. They had rectified my situation and whatnot, so I was so happy. But guess what? They didn't do anything. So after sleeping there for a night, I had to sleep at the main airport for a night while waiting for my flight. And since the flight was so urgent, I couldn't see an economy class, so I had to book a business class. And I forgot to mention, you're not permitted to have Wi-Fi when you're downstairs, so there was no Wi-Fi at all. And I finally got Wi-Fi back. I was able to reconnect with so many people. Yeah, I had no idea where I was heading to. And I was just moving around, and finally time came for us to board, and I was in business class for the first time. Yay! I met this amazing person. She gave me her name, her IG, but I lost the name, and I was so pissed. The flight was supposed to be more fun, but because I was anxious, because I didn't know if I was going to be permitted in a country, I couldn't fully enjoy my experience. So We were served breakfast. And it was not so good. It didn't taste good at all. Here is how appealing it looks. It looks so delicious. It looks put together, but it wasn't good. My friend, on the other hand, rejected the breakfast and said it was the worst thing she has ever had. And I was just hoping that these people will finally permit me into their country because I was studying masters and I really wanted to graduate. I was left with just my thesis. I was on my thesis before I traveled, so I wanted to graduate. Now, this is where it became tricky. I finally got into the airport and was faced with airport control, and same thing happened to me. I was locked up and I was asked to pay a total sum of $6,000. If not, I was not going to be permitted. So I couldn't afford $6,000 at the time because that was outrageous. Due to stress, I began bleeding and there was nobody to help me. They gave me just a single pad and nothing more. Like, they treated me really badly, put me in handcuffs. So I walked up to an officer and told him, please send me back. I was going to wait for amnesty because amnesty is a program the government grants for people who haven't done their permit to get their permit done. So I got sent back home. With this time around with a lot of police officers from Cyprus, Jan Airport, right up to Douala. I was accompanied by police and it became worse in my country. I had so many papers to sign. I stayed there for a total of 13 hours till my sister finally came to bail me out and I went home traumatized for the rest of my life. I failed to mention I was in charge of the entire flight expenditures, so I paid in my country on arrival. So my little advice would be, please, if you're in a country, always stay legal, always make sure you follow the rules and regulation. But I didn't, and avoid going to country with high rate of racism. I was highly sexualized by the officers and treated extremely bad because of the color of my skin. I was really treated badly. The prison was crowded, no good food, no water. So that's just it about this video. Thank you guys for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, like and share my videos. Bye bye.